Shut up and sit down.
Hey, welcome to the Old Stogies Uncut podcast, brought to you by the Old Stogie Company Mobile Cigar Lounge. I'm Randy.
And I'm Shane.
And we are coming to you from the Mobile Cigar Lounge. We're going to be talking a bit about whiskey,
Cigars,
a little bit of everything.
and a whole lot of nothing.
Yep, and you don't want to miss a minute of it. So find a comfortable place to sit, pour a drink, light a stick, because we're going to be coming at you. Stand by. Guys, this segment of the show was brought to you by 705 Designs. Now listen, if you're a business owner, you've got to cut through all the static of all the competitors and get your message to the right people at the right time. 705 can do that for you. There's some great people. They're going to do great work in your marketing aspect and your website aspect. You really need to go check them out. I promise you will not be disappointed. SEVENOFIVE designs.com. They produce our show. They're good folks. Check them out. 705designs.com. Hey guys, welcome back. We're at episode number 5-ish now, right?
Five-ish.
5-ish? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. So, yeah, glad you guys hanging around. We are the Old Stogies, and this is the Old Stogie Uncut podcast.
I'm so glad you brought the real glasses this time.
Oh, yeah.
Drinking out of those solo cups. I mean, I survived, but
Well, yeah. I know it was nip and tuck there for a
Yeah.
while, but glad you made it through, struggling through those plastic cups.
Right.
Yeah, it's a first world problem.
it is.
Yeah.
Whiskey in a plastic cup.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. So how's it going, my brother?
It's going good. Just kicking back, having a cigar,
Yeah.
trying to figure out what we're going to talk about for the next 45 minutes.
Well, that should be easy. Let's start with your big renovation project you got going on.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready for another drink yet after that? No, that's...
Yeah, boy. Every turn that you make, there's something that you just didn't plan on.
I know. 1 step forward, 62 steps back.
Yeah, and I mean, my wife and I, we are not the two people to tell, well, I don't think we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all you're going to get is a face and a why.
Why?
And if it's not a good answer,
Yeah.
well, then we're going to keep talking about it.
Yeah. It's like asking somebody in Maine, so how do we get there from here? Oh, you can't get there from here. What do you mean? Why?
How? Yeah, so.
You go down past the lobster house. And, anyway.
I mean, the contractor and his workers are all great people.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, every time you turn around, it's like, well, we got a problem. Well, we got a problem.
Well, that's why you're here.
Yeah. And today, and I mean, super nice guy, but today he's like, well, you know, what you paid last week was for the work that I did last week,
Right.
which you paid on Friday. He
Yeah.
goes, so, you know, you got about another $2,500 worth of work. I'm like, Jim, I wrote you a check for almost $6,000 last week. He's like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Guess what? We're keeping records, too.
That sounds like that was a wise decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, sure, it's just slipped his mind.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that's what it was.
But it's coming along. I don't want to get into too much detail, but if all goes as planned within 5 years,
Yeah.
tops,
Yeah?
my wife and I will be completely debt-free.
You know, that phrase is thrown around a lot, but there's a lot to be said for that. About being debt-free and beholden to no one, and just being your own, just being in on your own, you
Right.
know, without owing a bunch of people a bunch of money. What did Shakespeare say?
I don't know.
Neither a borrower nor a lender be.
Oh.
So, welcome to Shakespeare Corner.
And you know what's really jacked up about that debt-free?
What's that?
Is in today's society, it can actually work against you.
It can work against you.
Because now you no longer have a credit score.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Isn't that funny that if you have a balance on your cards but you pay them well, your credit score is higher than if you have no balance on any of your cards?
Right.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because they're keeping track of the score.
Well, I guess so. You know, when someone else is keeping score, you're always going to lose.
This is so true.
Yeah. That's a sports analogy, too, by the way.
My dad, he hated credit cards, but he had to have one.
Yeah.
You know, just so he would use it twice a month.
Yep.
buy gas, and that's it.
There you go.
And that's all he'd use it for. He'd just put gas on it.
And then go home and send a payment.
Yep.
Yeah. With online banking, it's really easy now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go out to dinner, you charge it, you go right back to the house, and you send a payment.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you got one of those cards with reward dollars and points and all that bullshit, you can make it pay. You can work that.
Man, the credit card I got now, it was weird. About 2 months ago, I had forgot to send a payment in, and my wife had forgot to send a payment in. So, you know, I get this email saying, hey, you missed your payment. I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next day, I get a letter in the mail from them saying, we raised your credit.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, miss another one. Get that credit limit up there.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, and I'm all like, no, you're wrong. I didn't miss that payment at all.
Been keeping me up at night.
There you go. So it sounds like the renovation is going well. It's just kind of a gut-wrenching nightmare.
Yes.
Yeah. So, hey, you guys out there, I know some of you have renovated something at some point. Send us your horror stories. We love to read those on air. Horror.
Okay, just making sure.
Horror stories of your renovations that you thought was going to be a piece of cake and it turned out to be a pile of shit. We definitely want to hear those, and we'll read them on air. Shane will read them on air.
You know what else is working against me on this whole renovation?
What's that?
You know, you don't want to cut corners, but you want to save money.
Absolutely.
And so there's a lot of stuff my wife goes, well, you could do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what makes you think that?
Yeah.
What does she pull up?
Yeah.
You remodeled an Airstream.
Oh,
I'm like, damn it.
I know. The display went out in our stove at home. And Laura's like, well, can you fix that? And I said, well, I don't know if I can fix that or not. I'm not sure. I don't have the first clue on how to. Well, you rebuilt an Airstream. Oh, here we go.
Right?
I know.
I've seen you darn a sock, man. Make me a suit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure that's not the same comparison.
I'm sure it's kind of apples and socks. So,
I'm not worried about it. My wife hears me talk too much at home. She's not listening to this.
Yeah, true. True. Yeah. So, you know, I thought maybe today we could talk a little about bourbons and some of our favorites, and but let's put a limit on it. Let's say bourbons, whiskeys that we like under
50.
How about that?
Yeah. I mean, we're economical, if anything.
Oh, yeah. Wait, economical, that's a big word. Does that mean stingy?
Yes, cheap.
Cheap, okay.
Cheap.
I got you. Well, then, yes, we are very economical.
Well, before we jump into that, what you smoking?
I am smoking a Perdomo 20th anniversary, Connecticut. And what you got going there?
I got a Camacho, Connecticut.
Yeah.
I went Connecticut today.
Yeah. That's a good cigar.
Yeah. I kind of prefer a Maduro, but...
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, we placed an order earlier this week. We got some good cigars coming in, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Y'all hear that?
Yeah.
It's because he talks too much. His cigar went out.
Yeah. I do talk too much.
So why don't you just take a minute and tell us about the leaves in Honduras, where those and the rain levels and stuff like that for the tobacco for that particular cigar.
I'd be happy to. So as we all know, Honduras is a country, and it's located on Earth, and above Honduras is a sky, and sometimes it's a bright sky and sometimes it's a rainy sky. So when it rains in Honduras, things get wet, and the tobacco gets a drink. And this year so far, the
rain level.
Yeah, the rain level. Sorry, I had to hand my compadre the lighter there. The rain level in this year, in some places, has been average.
You can stop.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody's believing you anyway.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Maybe
Right.
that's why they're not believing me.
Now, I've heard a couple of cigar shows, and I mean, they really dive into, rain levels and how big the leaves are, and I'm like, oh no, just give me the cigar, let me light it up and a drink, and leave me alone.
Yeah,
I don't care about all that
We'll
other
be good
stuff.
to go.
Yeah.
I'll tell you if it was a good year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a guy walk in, kind of a funny story. We had a guy come in at an event a couple of weeks back. You weren't there. That was the one that you missed.
Yeah.
But and my wife helped me. He came in, and I'm not going to say the cigar, but
Okay.
he bought a cigar, and
Yeah.
we put a nice little V-cut notch in it and
Nice.
lit it up for him. And, he went because we parked out in front of a bar.
Yeah.
So, he went and sat on their patio to smoke the cigar, and he comes back about 2 minutes later, and he holds that cigar up to me, showing me the cap in. I'm like, yeah? He goes, you see that? I go, what? No.
Yeah.
And he pulls on it, and there's a hair sticking out the end of it.
Really?
He goes, where'd that come from? I go, probably off the thigh of the virgin that rolled it. He just looked at me like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. Here, let me get you another one.
Yeah, no additional charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was just kind of funny, his face. I wasn't expecting that answer.
Well, no one ever expects that answer.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So let's talk about bourbons under $50, our favorites and why they're our favorites and what we like to smoke with them. Does that sound good?
Yeah,
Okay,
you start.
Good. Well, I don't want to get into things and then have to pause and go fill our glasses. So let's take a break and fill our glasses and kind of get a running start into this. You guys hang on. As long as we're filling our glasses, you fill yours. We'll be right back. Hey, we're back. We got a fresh glass. We're
Yes,
good to
sir.
go. You can't really hear that very well. Didn't put a lot of ice in there. I just kind of poured it on top.
You got Parkinson's? What's going on over there?
Well, I was trying to. Oh, crap. And then I just spilled it all over myself.
Yeah, that's your drinking problem coming
I
out
guess
right there.
so. Whew, yeah. So, so let's talk about bourbons. Our favorite bourbons. Under $50.
Well, how long have you been drinking bourbon? Let's just start there.
Well, probably 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you mean not today?
Yeah.
Okay.
I started right after breakfast. No, I'm kidding.
What cereal goes good with bourbon? That's what we need to talk about.
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch. I prefer Count Chocula, but whatever.
Cheerios.
Cheerios. I don't know, maybe 3 years.
Oh, is that it? Really?
Yeah, maybe 3-4 years, something like that. I haven't been drinking bourbons that long, but enough to know what I like and what I don't like.
You had it sporadically.
I had it
over the-
sporadically, but
Yeah.
it's become more of a...
It's not something most people just jump, wake up one day, I'm going to be a bourbon drinker.
I'm going to have some bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of have to work your way into it.
Kind of like back when, like I was 11 and
Yeah.
had my first, second beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, I'm never drinking that crap again. So here I am, bourbon drinker.
Yep, there you go. But the pairing of a good bourbon or scotch with a cigar is just unquestioned.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, it's
Actually, I like a kind of a more, probably the wrong term, more of a stout, dark bourbon with
Really?
my cigar than like the lighter ones. I mean, I do like a light
Yeah.
bourbon every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I think flavor-wise, with a good cigar, I
Yeah.
like more of a darker, more stout, flavorful bourbon.
Yeah, and for me, sometimes it's not so much the actual bourbon that you're drinking, but I mean the way you prep and pour, I think, has something to do with it. And you tell me if you disagree, but this is what I'm thinking here.
I disagree. You talking to me again?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, go
You
ahead.
tell me if you disagree with what I'm saying here. First of all, I like the visual of a nice glass of bourbon, and what I mean by that is a lot of times you fill a glass with ice and you pour bourbon in on top of it, and that ice looks real white. Have you noticed that?
Mm-hmm.
I know, but I have gotten to where I really like a clear ice cube
And a big ice cube.
and a big ice cube,
Preferably one.
preferably one. But
I've been to bars
Yeah.
where they're still throwing that like Sonic ice in there, and I just hate that.
and that's it. You got a lot of surface area there, and the
Well, it
ice is
melts
gonna
too
melt.
quick and-
exactly,
Yeah.
and it waters down your bourbon. But what I found, and what I was told, and this is really cool, and I have done this, and it works well. It really does. You get one of those small little igloo chests, probably 12 by 10, with the little top that flips up and the handle on it, and
Basically a lunch cooler.
basically a lunch cooler, yeah, exactly. But you get you one of those, and you fill it about 8 inches full of water, and you set that in a chest freezer. Chest freezer works best. Upright freezer doesn't work as well, but the chest freezer works best.
And you people in Iowa right now, you could just put it outside on the front porch.
Just put it outside on the front porch. You're all good. But what makes the ice white is the air that's entrained in the water when you put it in there. If you set that chest down in a chest, that igloo down in that chest freezer, it freezes from the top down. And if you leave it in there roughly 48 hours, and it depends, depending on your freezer. Sorry about that. It will freeze from the top down, and when it gets about 5 inches thick, you can pull that thing out of the chest freezer, and it's still got water on the bottom. You got ice on the top, and flip it upside down, and it'll just pop right out. And you got this big, nice block of very clear ice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. And then you just take like a bread knife.
You're really not doing a whole lot for cigar sales.
No,
by
I'm really
coughing
not.
like
I don't
that.
know. I think it's something to do with Corona. But anyway,
Did you see Corona change the name of their beer?
I did. So
Ebola now.
Yeah, it's Ebola. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you score it with a bread knife, you can break it, and you get these beautiful, large, clear cubes. And you start with one of those in a rocks glass. I just love the look of that. You pour the bourbon in on top of it, and I think, for me, there's a fine line there between having to get up and refill your glass too often and having too much in there that it gets watered down before you can finish it all.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm still fine-tuning that level, but for me, it's sort of the stereotypical 3 fingers.
And that also depends on the size of the ice cube in there.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, are you one of those, I agree with you about, going back for a fill-up. So now I'm pouring fresh bourbon, especially on a drink that you hadn't finished all the way yet.
Yeah,
You pour more bourbon, fresh bourbon on top of it.
Yeah.
Now you're just pouring fresh bourbon into what's already a slightly watered down. I mean, I'm more of the school of just go ahead and finish it, chunk that piece of ice, get me a fresh, and just start the whole process over again.
No, I agree. And although, it's well known that a little splash of water can really open up the flavor of a bourbon or a
Sure.
scotch or pretty much any kind of alcohol, because the alcohol is hydrophilic, and it just brings out the taste.
What?
Hydrophilic. Alcohol loves water.
Are you going to spell that?
THAT.
Good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Got me on that
Yeah,
one.
well, I did a little bit, but I think too much water just
Correct.
Yeah.
And over the years, I mean, I've been drinking bourbon a lot longer than 3 years, but yeah, over the years, it was less and less and less water. And I mean, to be honest with you, I don't mind a neat bourbon every once in a while. It kind of depends. I'll be honest with you. The way our house that we live in right now, the way it's set up, the only cabinet that we keep the liquor in is right above the oven. We have the built-in ovens.
Yeah.
So, which is fine to keep it up there, but man, if you don't pick your times and you decide to have a neat bourbon, it's warm like coffee. It's like, no, that's not great.
That's where all the heat goes. Yeah. And the cabinet above. And I agree with you. And a while back they came out with these what they called rocks. They're actually little marble stones.
Yeah, I
that
have
you put
some.
in the freezer. You have some of those.
Mm-hmm.
And those are fine and good because they keep your drink from getting.
They're really only good
down.
for one drink.
They're good for one drink. That's the only thing. And what I found is that they don't really hold the cold as well as they should.
No.
And you still will need a little splash of water to open up that flavor. So I've got some too, and I haven't used them, and I don't know when the last time was I used them. I just go with my big cube, and
I got some from a friend of mine as a going away present from my last job.
Oh yeah.
And I told her thank you. I said I could have used these when I started.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you.
Yeah. So that's for me I think a lot of prep and a lot of pre-thought has to go in. I just don't grab a glass and throw Sonic Ice in and hit it with bourbon and expect it to be
Right.
a really good drink.
I love it when you talk about these type of things.
What's that? Bourbon?
Well, no, I mean just how you get all in depth on it and you explain it in detail and you use the big words.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, because it gives me more time to drink.
Oh, gotcha. I see how that works. But no, I think there's more to it than just saying, well, I like this bourbon. Well, here's how I like the bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like that bourbon taste mixing with the cigar taste. And to me, it's just a complete package. It's just a really, really nice getaway.
This kind of sounds weird, but there's been occasions when I'm at a bar or something like that. I don't go to bars very often. I mean, we do for events, but
Sure.
I don't actually go sit at the bar.
Right.
But on the rare occasions that I do, you know, it's weird because I'll glance or try and get a look to see what kind of ice that they're scooping out. You know, maybe they're making a drink for somebody else or something like that.
Right.
And depending on the ice,
Yeah.
really affects sometimes my bourbon choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, do I want, you know, if you're throwing Sonic ice in a glass,
Yeah.
do I really want, you know, a mid-level to expensive bourbon?
Right.
No, I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
Like, what kind of bourbon you want, sir? House. At this
Yeah.
point, just give me house.
Yeah, just give me house. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
So-
unless they're making a drink like an old fashioned, where they're going to shake it and strain it. You know, and
True.
Sometimes that works okay.
A lot of times they don't ask you though. They just
They
just pick the bourbon.
No, you're right. You're right. But yeah,
And I'm fine with house bourbon, and you guys will understand that statement here in a little bit when
Yeah.
we really kind of dive into our favorite bourbons and why this guy doesn't mind a good house bourbon.
yeah. There's been some house bourbons where I've left a full drink on the counter, but then there's been some that haven't been too bad.
Right.
Is
So-
that what they call a well drink when you just say house bourbon?
Yep.
Okay, a call drink is when you say I want this brand.
Yep.
Okay, I'm 78 years old and I never knew that. That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah,
You look old for 78.
thank you. It's not the years, it's the mileage. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. Yeah.
You're shorter than you used to be too. All right, so
I am
go ahead.
4'6".
You start. Let's give me a bourbon that you like.
You know, if we're staying under $50, that knocks out a few.
It does. It knocks out our favorite.
Well, it does knock out our favorite.
We'll bring up our favorite here in a little bit.
It knocks out a couple of my favorites actually. But,
Yeah.
But it does knock out the favorite. But if we're staying on the budget side,
And we're talking about a fifth.
we're talking about a fifth. Yeah,
$50.
Not the 10-gallon drum.
Right. No, but I'm saying for the $50, we're just
No, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
A half gallon
Different
of
story.
some shitty bourbon is over $50.
Yes. But I have grown to like, and I think you're the one that actually turned me onto this, was the 1835.
No, it wasn't me.
It wasn't you?
No, that was completely you. You showed
Wow.
up with it one day.
Wow.
Because it was on sale.
Oh,
Again.
yeah, it was on sale. It was like $22.
Yeah, back to cheap.
Back to cheap. But, it's not that cheap.
No.
But I like it. It's smooth.
Yeah.
It's got a nice flavor.
And at $20 a bottle, I mean, if you think about it, that's what, $80 a week. I mean, that's not bad.
Really? That's all?
Yeah.
Wow.
You're the math guy. Do that for the month.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm
Yeah.
with you. Yeah. Man. It's that time of year in Texas where the sinuses kick in.
I don't think people are believing that. You're on a cigar show and you're coughing.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's not that. So, what I like about it is it's very smooth. It's very drinkable, and it's not expensive. And I just like it. It's definitely one of my favorites under $50.
The 1835.
The 1835, absolutely. Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
All right. So you throw one out.
No, I do like the 1835.
Yeah.
We both discussed that. We take that to a lot of events.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And the cheapness
Yeah.
kind of helps. So I don't know if you'd necessarily. I have to weigh this different. My favorite or one of my favorite bourbons versus cost type of thing. You know,
Yeah.
I can like something a lot
Yeah.
if it's cheap.
True.
And I know I'll probably catch some flack for this one, but I really like Evan Williams.
Oh, stand by while I give you some flack.
Yeah, I do, and there's a story behind it. When I first started drinking bourbon, I guess more on a regular basis. I mean, I'd done shots as a stupid college kid and stuff like that.
I see.
Had it come out my nose and all kinds of weird stuff.
I bet that was fun.
Oh yeah,
That was a party.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I picked up a girl that night.
Really?
No,
By doing that?
no, didn't.
So she was easily impressed. If
Yeah,
That's what.
well, she had fallen down. She was drunk too.
Well, that explains a lot.
But anyway, no. At that time, I lived exactly 2 blocks away from a pool hall. And it was an old-fashioned pool hall that was just a beer place. But you could bring in your own whiskey, and they provide the setups.
Oh, gotcha.
And I also had 3 kids, all still in diapers. I mean, just what were they? There was maybe not all 3 still in diapers. It was like 4, 2, and newborn.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
They're
just
all
crazy.
3 real close.
Yeah.
If not in diapers.
Seriously, I looked at them for the longest time thinking, by the time I get these kids out of diapers, I'm going to be in them. I just didn't think that we were going to ever stop buying diapers. But no, so we were broke. We're just a couple of broke folks trying to get through life.
Wow.
Yeah. But I like to go to this pool hall. So what I'd do is I'd go get me a pint and I'd scan the prices, and there's this Evan Williams. And if you guys aren't familiar with Evan Williams, it's the one that looks like a Jack Daniels bottle, but it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Same coloring on the label, same
font.
artwork. Yeah.
And I mean, you could get it for like $8 for a pint.
Yeah.
No, actually, you could get it for $9 for a fifth. That's what it was. You can get a fifth for $9.
Wow.
It was like 5 or 6 for a pint. So what I would do is I'd buy a pint for like $5.
Yeah.
I'd go to this pool hall, and they knew me. I mean, the moment I walked in the door, they'd have the the rack of balls and the stick. They already knew what size of stick and weight that I liked and everything like that.
Yeah.
And Tony behind the bar, he'd have a big old cup, styrofoam cup that he'd fill up about halfway with Coke.
Oh, okay.
And I'd take that off into the back corner, and I'd stand over there, and I'd shoot pool, and I'd drink that whole pint. I'd shoot pool for a couple hours, and I'd walk home. It was just 2 blocks away.
2 blocks away?
Yeah, I drove there because I'm lazy, but I walked home. But yeah, you'd have a good night for like $12.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, and so that's...
And now you go to a bar, you'll pay $12 a drink.
Yeah, well, not very often. That's why I always get well.
Yeah.
But no, that's why I like Evan Williams. It's kind of like that old story. I remember my wife took me to a family reunion, obviously on her side, and she's like, my Nana makes the best coleslaw you've ever had in your life. And I'm like, awesome. I love coleslaw.
Yeah.
I took a bite of that, and I'm like, ooh. And I'm trying to look around, see if anybody's looking, so I could spit it into a napkin. Because, oh, God, I didn't like that at all. And she goes, you didn't like that? And I'm like, no. She goes, why not? I go, because that is not KFC coleslaw.
Right. And that's what you're used to.
That's what I grew up on.
You dance with the one that brought you. Yeah.
So that's why I like, you'll always find a bottle of Evan Williams in my house.
Yeah. So, question. When they laid the pool cue on the bar, I mean, you're not a big guy. Was it one of those little bumper pool cues?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I could beat most people with a broom handle. I'm just saying.
Yeah, oh, no, true. I understand. I understand. Shane's 4'10", and I'm 4'6", in case you haven't figured that out by now. Don't we sound that tall on the radio? Of course we do.
We sound taller. All right, so that's my story. That's one of my favorites.
Okay,
I mean, I do like
Fair
other
enough.
bourbons, but I mean that's my go-to.
Fair enough. Now, you did turn me on to Devil's River.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a very light-colored bourbon, but it's also very smooth.
Very, very smooth.
It does not, in my mind, it does not have the same flavor profile as a darker bourbon.
It doesn't have much of a flavor profile.
It doesn't, but it's a nice sipping bourbon. And I enjoy it.
It's like old style light beer. It's just
it
alcohol
is.
water.
It is.
Yeah.
Which I guess most bourbon is just alcohol water, but
yeah, you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. It didn't have the flavor profile that I like, and so it's good, but not my favorite. But I still like it.
Yes.
Yeah, still like it. Now. We tried that, and I hate to call names, but we tried that Balcones a while back.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little disappointed in that because it was the Balcones red label, and I was a little disappointed in that. And nothing against Balcones, but to me it just had too much of an edge on it.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
I guess my point of that is that what I really look for in a bourbon is that it's very smooth.
Well, a very, very popular bourbon that a lot of people like.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why. I've never liked it. I've tried it. There's just something about the bite or the aftertaste of it.
Yeah.
Man, I am not a fan of Maker's Mark.
Same here.
Yeah.
I'll drink it in a mixed drink.
If somebody's buying it for me, I'll suffer. But
I'll drink it in an old fashioned or a Manhattan, but it's not my favorite on the rocks. Yeah.
I can't even remember the name of the bourbon. I want to say it was a numbered bourbon, like the 1835, and it might even been put out by Evan. I think they have a one that's like 17.
Yeah.
Something. But anyway, and don't quote me on that. I'm not positive on the name, but good Lord, that was a horrible bourbon.
Wow.
I mean,
yuck.
even in Coke, which I don't do very often.
Yeah.
I'm one of those purists. It's. What would you like in your bourbon, sir? Ice.
Yeah, ice.
Ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
And not your fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, this literally, when you're drinking it straight or on the rocks,
right.
I mean, it was like picking out a piece of burnt firewood out of the fireplace and chewing on it. I mean, it was just that.
Just a little too oaky and
a little charred oaky.
Yeah,
and I thought, oh well, I already bought the bottle. I'm not gonna throw it out. I put it with Coke. Didn't really help.
No, it didn't help a lot. Huh?
Didn't
Just ruined good Coke.
Yeah, actually. So
no, I got you.
I got smart, and so what I'd do is I'd have a couple of drinks of a bourbon I like. Then it's just like, all right, now we'll drink that one because nobody cares at this point. Yeah.
Taste buds are numb at this point.
Yeah.
And so
by the third bourbon, who gives a shit?
It doesn't matter. Guys, we got to take a break. We'll be back in just a minute. Stay with us. Hey guys, we're back. The old Stogies on Old Stogies Uncut.
You kind of stumbled on that one there a little bit, didn't you?
Can I try that again?
Go ahead.
Okay. Hey guys, we're back. The old Stogies, me and Shane, on Old Stogies Uncut podcast.
Yeah, that was kind of pointless. That wasn't much better.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't. But thanks for the kind words.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I see you filled your glass. That's all right. I'm good. I'm good to go. So, before we left.
I am 4 glasses away from an Uber.
Are you? 4 glasses?
Yeah, they're not a big glass.
I was going to say, you got your fraction upside down. You're probably 1/4 of a glass away from an Uber. So, no, before we left, we were talking about our some of our favorite bourbons under $50 and why we like them. So I got a question for you. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Oh, I knew that.
Okay.
He literally pointed at me.
So when you have some of the bourbons that we've talked about, what's your cigar of preference to go with those? Are you looking for something lighter? Or are you looking for something more in the Habano range? Or are you really digging into the double Maduros?
I think we touched on this a couple episodes back. For me, and I mean, just solely for me, everybody's different. I actually like a dark cigar with a strong bourbon and a light cigar with a light bourbon. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, that just personal preference for me. If I'm going to have a really full flavored, bold bourbon,
okay,
I do want a Maduro.
Gotcha.
If I'm going to have that Devil's River,
yeah,
I'm probably a Connecticut.
Yeah, something a little lighter that complements the flavor of what you're drinking.
Right. And, sometimes people are, they're different. They want a dark cigar, light bourbon,
right?
Dark bourbon, light cigar. It's totally personal.
There's nothing wrong with that,
right?
I mean, the contrasting flavors or the complementary flavors, they both go well depending on what you're in the mood for. Mm-hmm. There's no wrong way.
Yeah, and it also depends on my mood and what I'm going to be doing that night.
Right.
If I'm in a grumpy, foul mood, and then at 48, soon to be 49, I usually just kind of wake up that way.
Yeah. I understand.
My dad, I never understood it when I was a kid. I'd wake up, I'd be like, "Good morning, Dad." He's like, "I hate people." I'm like, "Wow." I understand it at 48.
I see.
Yeah, I'm like,
and that's the good mood?
Yeah. That was the good mood.
Yeah.
But, if I'm just going to be kicking back by the fire out in the backyard, something like that, and not going anywhere,
right? Give
me a dark cigar and a bold bourbon.
Nice. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I understand exactly what you mean. If you're more of in a celebratory mood or if you're in more of just a pensive mood. just kind of in your cave there, it can affect kind of what you like. Yeah.
And this is something you and I have talked about, not on a podcast, but your mood plays a lot into what kind of cigar you have and what kind of bourbon you have.
True.
There's times, man, I just, like my dad, I hate people. I don't want to be around people.
Right.
I just want to be by myself.
Right.
And I'm a creative person at heart, and we've talked about this, so are you. Creative people, I think, need that time to just disconnect from the world.
True.
And that's, give me a dark bourbon, give me a dark cigar.
Yep.
Right then and there, man. I just me, my thoughts, nothing else.
No, I got you. I'm a little on the lighter side. I find that a Connecticut or a Habano at the most with whatever bourbon I'm drinking usually pairs pretty well.
Yeah. If I'm hanging out with friends, I'll probably have more of a Connecticut cigar and
Sure. No, I got you.
But
so, bourbon's under $50. There's a couple others I think that need to be mentioned that you and I have started drinking over the past 6 months. And
sure. And let's be honest, we bounce around all over the place.
We do. We bounce around all over the place.
I walk into the liquor store, customers come up and ask me about stuff. It's just like, oh no, you should try this one. I mean, we've tried just about everything in the store under, at the very most, under $75.
Agreed.
We've tried just about everything.
Agreed. Do you think that's because you're staggering down the whiskey aisle? Is that why they stop and ask your opinion?
Staggering?
Yeah.
Nah, my legs are limp. I'm just kind of moving along with my arms and hands.
I got you. Maybe that's why they ask you.
I got my ass sitting on a skateboard, and I'm just kind of pushing down the aisle.
What's he drinking? Cough syrup.
Liquid morphine.
But a couple bourbons that we've found over the past months, and one was because of a good friend of ours that comes in the lounge, is that Larceny, which is a nice bourbon.
It is.
Yeah,
it's a good bourbon.
It really is. It's very flavorful, but yet very smooth. And so I think both of us really like that. But the other one that we found, and it was a case of mistaken identity because we couldn't remember the name of Larceny because we only had it once, was the Redemption.
Yeah, they're not even close.
They're not even close. But
I think it started with an L. Redemption. Yeah. So.
But yeah, the Redemption is a nice bourbon as well. Again, a lot of good flavor. It doesn't have that bite to it. It doesn't have that edge on it. It's just a nice, good sipping bourbon.
Yeah. No, it's a little bit closer to the $50.
It is.
Top end.
It's
what is it, like 35, 40?
Something like that. Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad.
A little closer to the high end, but it's still a really nice sipping bourbon.
And I don't want people out there to get it wrong. We're not two broke guys that are just smoking Swisher Sweets and rolling down our paper bag over our Mad Dog 2020. I mean, we have money, but there's a reason we have money.
Yeah, exactly. We don't drink it all away.
Yeah. We just don't buy the expensive stuff.
Yeah, every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while. At some point, we got to talk about our favorite bourbons over 50.
Maybe here in a minute.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay.
So you done with the Larceny and the Redemption?
I think I'm done with the
Lardemption.
The Lardemption, yeah. I think so.
That's funny. So I'm going to switch it up a little bit. One of my favorites, under 50, and I'm going to go Scotch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of my favorite Scotches is a Scotch called Monkey Shoulder.
You turned me onto that, and that is really good.
So smooth.
But it's got a lot more flavor and body than the Devil's River.
Yes.
Yeah.
So smooth. And, gosh, I don't have it in front of me, but I do believe that's a, what do they call it when they mix them all together?
Oh, it's a blended.
A blended.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Gosh, there's a word.
Yeah, there's a word. Let's try that. I'll take words for 200, Bob.
Actually, it was kind of a funny story how I stumbled across that. I was in this local liquor store and...
Excuse me, a what?
Liquor store.
And now you know why they asked him for advice on whiskey.
My molar fell out right there. But no, I'm standing there and I'm just kind of looking around, and I just like to look at the labels and read and see what they're saying. Being a designer at heart, artist, I love labels.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy walks up and he's like, "Is there anything I can help you with?" And I look straight at the wall where all these scotches are, and I'm like, "Yeah." I go, "I'm having trouble deciding. Should I get the pig snout or the monkey shoulder?" Just pick the two weirdest names I could find right there in front of me. And the guy goes, "Oh, wow, let me tell you." And he was dead serious. It kind of caught me off guard. And he's just like, "You really need to try that monkey shoulder." I'm like, "All right." And I'm
Things
thinking,
heard in a liquor store you'd never hear in a meat market.
right. So it just kind of cracked me up. I'm like, well, I'm kind of locked into this one now. So I went ahead and bought the monkey shoulder going, God, I hope I like it. Turns out it's a great freaking scotch.
It really is. It really is. Yeah.
I'm still trying to keep it PG-13. So.
No, I understand. But no, it's very good. You shared a bottle with me, and it was a really nice
Well, as
really
far
nice
as you know,
scotch.
I shared it with you.
Well, yeah. Oh, you got it. He was reaching for the lighter.
Yeah.
It was 6 feet away. He has freakishly long arms. So no, I'm with you there. I like that a lot as well. I was recently in Nashville, Tennessee, and
Is that the whole story?
yep.
All right.
No, I was recently in Nashville, Tennessee, and I was talking to a fellow. My day job is as a
No,
photographer.
you were there teaching a photography class,
I was there teaching a photography class too.
And the name of that class was the best boudoir pictures you could get of your sister? Is that what?
Well,
It's
you were
Tennessee.
there.
Yeah,
You
it
were
was
there.
Tennessee.
No, that's the one I taught in Arkansas.
Oh.
So anyway, I was talking to another photographer who happened to be from Ireland, and his name was Ronan, not the accuser. That's a Marvel
Nobody
joke.
got that.
That's a
Yeah,
Marvel
nobody
joke.
got that.
Yeah, but his name was Ronan, and he was telling me, if you want a great Scotch, you need to try this Jameson Black Label. That was beautiful, smooth. Oh, it was good stuff. And it's probably out of the $50 range.
Yeah, definitely.
But that was just throwing it out there for scotches. It was a beautiful Scotch.
Well, speaking of outside the $50 range, what is our currently favorite bourbon?
Currently, favorite bourbon comes from Coastal Bend Distillery. Distilling in Beeville, Texas.
Look them up.
Look them up. Coastal Bend Distilling, Beeville, Texas. And it is called Louisiana Purchase.
Gorgeous bourbon.
I mean,
perfect color, caramel flavor.
Yeah, smooth.
No, I mean, not like literally caramel flavor, like the aftertaste. I mean, there's these stupid flavored bourbons out there that I just can't stand.
Yeah, but I don't know. Those are best drank mixed with something.
Well, they end up sneaking up behind you and just kicking your butt because they taste so smooth. And, it's bubblegum vodka. And next thing you know, you're...
Bubblegum vodka?
You're peeing on yourself in the middle of the kitchen floor. So, it's just...
I don't know that whole story. Bubblegum vodka, peeing on yourself, and all right, okay.
A friend told me.
I see. I see. You read it on the Facebook. Mm-hmm. I got you. But no, that is one beautiful bourbon. It's actually manufactured in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm. They bought the barrels.
They bought the barrels. They buy a whole barrel. They bring it back to Beeville, and then they bottle it from there. But yeah, the Coastal Bend down there, they try to name all of their alcohols after something to do with Texas.
Sure.
For example, they have a whiskey down there that's called Colonel Fannin.
Good.
It's good.
It's more along the lines of the Devil River.
Is.
It's a lighter.
It's a lighter, and it is right at $50 a bottle. But it's very nice.
No, it's 32.
Is it 32?
32.
Oh, you're right. But it's very smooth. It's got a nice flavor, but it is very, very light, just like the Devil's River is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really good. But listen, look that place up. Coastal Bend Distilling, Beeville, Texas.
Yeah, you guys just go get on their website, see if, I don't know how they feel about shipping stuff. I have no idea. I don't know the laws and all that. Yeah. But you guys buy up all the Colonel Fannin you can because we want the Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah, we're doing our best to buy that as quickly as we can.
Kind of a funny story. The last time we were there, we got a couple of bottles. one for each of us.
Yes.
And Randy looked me dead in the eye, just serious as could be. He's just like, what I really like about this bourbon? He goes, I like having this really good bourbon at the house, so when friends and family show up, I can give them a drink of this really great bourbon. I'm like, dude, you're a better man than I am, because I serve the shit. Here's some Evans for you. I'm keeping that Louisiana Purchase just for me.
Yeah, here, have some Ezra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 90 proof Ezra. Actually, that's on my list too. I kind of like it.
Really?
I do, yeah. I do.
Yeah. Mike Barnes, that was on the show last week, really likes that Gentleman Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Because he says it's very smooth. I am typically not a big Jack Daniels fan.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. But that Gentleman Jack is nice.
When I was growing up in high school, we were big Jim Beam drinkers. But, I mean, we always mixed it with Coke. But let's be honest. Back then, Jim Beam, a half gallon was $10. That's why we, as high school kids, were drinking it. But,
Gotcha.
I mean, today, if I have a Jim Beam, I'm like, it's not that great for me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
No, you should actually tell the story of another one of our favorite bourbons. The one where you came up to me and go, I have a story for the podcast.
Oh, yeah. I guess I probably should. I caught a lot of shit from this, but this was a good bourbon. We found quite by accident.
It actually turned out to be a really good bourbon.
Yeah, it really did. But I found quite by accident. So I walk into a local liquor store that's out by my house, and I walk in, and I'm on a mission. I'm headed straight for the whiskey over there. And a girl stops me, and she says, hey, we're doing a tasting today. Would you like to taste some of what we're offering? And I said, well, I don't know.
And the first one, like a pickled moonshine or something?
Yeah, I said, what are you offering? She said, well, we have a pickle-flavored moonshine. And
pass.
I threw up a little in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm sure in certain situations it could be really good.
Pregnant ladies like it.
That particular situation never comes to mind. Yeah, possibly so. She said, we also have a Kentucky bourbon. I said, well, bourbon got its start in Kentucky. How bad can it be?
I'm listening.
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm with you. So she took me over to the table, and she poured me and I drank a little bit, and I was like, wow, this is really good. What is this? So she grabbed the bottle and spun the label around, and there's a rooster.
Mm-hmm.
Big, colorful rooster on the front.
And this is where the smile on my face appeared.
This is where I realized I'd stepped off into this knee deep when I was telling Shane the story. And the name of the bourbon is called Fighting Cock.
Good bourbon.
Good bourbon.
He choked it down.
Horrible name.
Yeah.
But now I understand that if you go to certain places, you can buy cigars by the same name.
Really?
Yes, you can.
Two things for you to gag on.
Stop. But you got to admit, that was a good bourbon.
It is. We've actually drank a lot of it.
Yeah. He rolled his eyes.
I did.
In case you didn't see it.
I did.
In case you didn't see it. Of course you didn't see it.
But no, when he told me that story and he told me the name of it, the smile on my face, he's like, no, maybe we shouldn't put this on the podcast.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll just keep that to ourselves.
And I think for the next 2 weeks, every joke I had,
every joke you had, was about the bourbon, and then you tried it and you got to like it, and now the jokes have subsided a little bit.
All seriousness, it's a really good bourbon,
and it's around $28-$30.
Yeah, it's a medium. I mean, it's not a bold, it's not a light. It's good.
It's very smooth, and it's a good sipping bourbben.
Yeah,
really
I'm not really pleased with their marketing director. But
well, me neither. But in a sea,
at least he didn't put an S on it.
Yeah,
then it would have been even worse.
Yeah, the old lightsaber fight from
what movie was that?
I don't know. It was back in the '80s or something. But it was really good, and enjoyed it.
So I guess that's it for our bourbons right now.
Well, I think so. Do we want to talk about higher priced bourbons on another show, or what do you want to do?
We might have to bring in guests for that because I don't really drink higher priced bourbons.
Well, there's a couple. There are.
But
Woodford.
Blanton's.
Blanton's is the best.
Yeah.
Blanton's is the
Hey,
best.
if you're out there and you have the Blanton tops,
Yeah.
send them to us.
Yeah, we need an A and an N, please.
Really?
If you would, yeah, A and an N. If you would send that to us, we would appreciate that very much. We have a free cigar for you if you want to send that topper to us. We appreciate
Maybe
that.
a couple.
Yeah, maybe a couple. So we're, once we get all the toppers, we're going to get one of the whiskey barrel staves and put it in there, and you can come into the lounge and check that out. So
You can admire it. You
Yes.
can't touch it, but you can admire it.
Now, yesterday you told me there's some big changes in the online store.
Yes, we
Yeah.
are adding a whole bunch of new cigars. We're slowly rolling them out. I mean, currently, we sell our favorite. Oh, well, that brings me to another topic, but let me finish this idea first.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Currently, we sell mostly Southern Draw, which
Southern
is our
Draw.
favorite cigar.
It's a company out of Austin. It's a veteran-owned company.
Robert and Sharon.
Yeah, and we've talked about them before on the podcast.
Yes, yeah. And they just recently won, I can't remember what it was, but like Best Cigar of 2019, Best Cigar Company of 2019.
I think it was a
But
company. Yeah,
whatever it was, congratulations, Robert and Sharon.
Yeah,
I mean,
man,
you guys are doing
congratulations.
great
You
work.
guys are killing it up there, and we are so proud to carry your cigars in our lounge.
And we need to throw a thank you out there to Chris for turning us on to them, because
Absolutely.
I've smoked cigars for 20, 25 years, and I mean, it took only a month of that brand, and they are hands down at the top of my list.
Oh, absolutely.
Favorite
They're
cigars.
Consistent, good draw.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fantastic cigar. And yes, Chris from Stogies in Dripping Springs, Texas.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you very much for turning us on to that.
Good guy.
Great guy.
But yeah, we are slowly rolling out new cigars, and I don't know if anybody realizes this. Maybe they do. Maybe they. Who cares? We don't sell a cigar unless we've tried it.
I didn't realize that.
You didn't?
Yes, I realized that.
All right.
Yes, but yes, anything you'd buy in the lounge, we have personally tried.
Anything you buy online?
We have personally tried.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are slowly rolling out more and more cigars. And we're gonna start getting into the accessories, the cutters, the ashtrays, the lighters.
Yes,
stuff like that.
desktop cutters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of that good stuff.
So you guys check us out, oldstogiecompany.com.
Absolutely. You
And
can,
that's Stogie, I-E.
yeah, not Stoogie.
Yeah.
Stogie.
It could be
Yeah.
easily confused,
It could
I
be
guess.
very easily confused. I think you're right.
Two old stooges? Yeah, well, okay.
Okay, fine. Yeah, we'll just own that shit. But yeah, absolutely. Check out our online store. Listen, guys, I know a lot of people are worried about going on the online store, thinking, "Oh, these guys' prices must just be horrible." We're really not. You can put our prices up against any of the major online cigar retailers anywhere.
Yeah, no, we get you in the shipping. No, I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
kidding.
we get you in the shipping is $300. But
Yeah.
No, just kidding. Just kidding.
We box everything individually.
Yep.
No, I'm kidding. But no, we are very competitive.
Yep, we are. And that's because we want to share with you what we like.
Right. And I mean, our big thing is cigars are an experience.
They
we
are.
want you to have a good experience.
Absolutely. It's like the old Vidal Sassoon. If you don't look good, we don't look good. So if you're not happy, we're not happy.
Great. I love how he does a shampoo commercial with the bald guy sitting here. Thanks. I
Sure.
felt included.
It is absolutely the least I could do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so you know. Also, guys, know that we have whiskey tasting kits with journals, to where as you work your way through some of these whiskeys and bourbons and scotches
And actually cigar journals.
and cigar journals, because if you're like us and you try a lot of cigars, sometimes it's hard to remember what you liked and what you didn't like. So we have those cigar journals as well online, to where you can document your experience with the cigars and actually just tape the label right in there with it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
there's no question about what you tried, what you liked about it. You can actually designate a flavor profile on that page, and those are pennies, hundreds of pennies, thousands of pennies. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
1,000.
1,000 pennies.
It's $10.
That's $10. We got them online. You bet. So anyway, enjoyed spending time with you guys. I hope y'all liked it as much as we did.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't talking to me this time.
Not really.
All right.
Yeah. So anyway, we will be back next episode. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And as always,
Smoke them if you got them.
and we got them. See you next time.
Shut up and sit down.
Old Stogies Uncut, brought to you by Old Stogie Company and produced by 705